segment, we're going to look at jQuery Mobile's ability to create and configure buttons. And actually, jQuery Mobile gives you as the developer a lot of options when working with buttons. So I'm going to go here into the code we've been working on throughout this whole chapter. And let's go right above our form and below our header. So we'll be working right in here. Now, you'll code the button pretty much like you normally would. So let's go ahead and just write our code. Button ID fun button press me. Now, even in that simple form, the button gets that mobile look and feel to it. So we've got our press me button right here, just like that. You notice it's got the effect for when you press on it, it gives you a little bit of gray. And that's true for just about any type of button that you do within the environment. Now, if you want more than one button, you can do that pretty easily as well. Let's go back to my fun button here. And let's say we wanted to create a second button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give this the data role button and data inline equals true. I believe the data role is unnecessary there. So if we want the buttons, you notice the button went all the way across the screen. I'll show you that again in a minute. And let's say we want our buttons to be inline, meaning next to each other. We'll call this the less fun button. All right, so you can see it went all the way across the screen, but now because we set that data inline property to true, now our button goes, or our two buttons wind up stacked next to each other. Now, buttons are actually a pretty good time to talk about the concept of theming. There's a number of different themes that are available within the jQuery mobile environment, and all we've got to do is add the data theme attribute to our buttons. Let's add another button here. Button ID, we'll call this the theme button, and the text will be look at me. So without any theme attributes, we just get the button we had before. But with the theme button, we could simply add the data theme, set data theme to A, and now we get kind of the reverse, the gray button. If we set it to B, now we're on to the blue button. And I don't know, let's look at E just as another example. There's C and D too, of course. And that gives us a yellow button. So a number of themes that we can use with our buttons to alter the button's appearance. We also have more compact versions of the buttons. Those are known as mini buttons. And all we've got to do there is simply set data-mini to true. And now our buttons will have the mini button appearance. All it did was basically reduce the size of the text. You can take that back out. If we put it in our inline buttons, the ones we have above here, that'll work just fine as well. So we'll set data mini on these to true. Just like that. And now those are a little bit smaller. Not a huge impact by using the data mini attribute. We also can add various icons to a button. And this can be a good clue for the user as to what you want them to do. So for example, here on Press Me, I'm going to add the data icon equals check. And what that's going to do is it's going to add a check button icon to this particular button. There's, about 20 different icons that you can use with each button. And you can even control the data icon's position inside the actual button itself. So if you wanted to position it on the left or the right or something like that, you could do that. So let's go ahead and say we wanted that to actually be, it'll look bad, but let's say we wanted it to be on top. So we're going to use data icon pos for icon position top. You can do top, bottom, left, right. There it is on top. Or you could even do no text, which will substitute the icon for the text itself on the button. I think those icons look pretty good, and like I said, they do give the user kind of a clue as to exactly what action you'd like them to take. Now, with our buttons, we also have a couple of options as far as how we make the corners look on the button themselves. So we could, for example, take data corners. Let me see what we have here. Looks like I lost my output. So we'll go ahead and reestablish that. There we go. So if you look at the Look at Me button, it's big and yellow. So what I'm going to do is let's change that button and let's use the data corners equals false. It'll still be big and yellow, but notice now we've taken out those round corners. We could also change the shadow, the icon shadow, etc. if we wanted to. Now, we could disable any button we want to using jQuery Mobile as well. And what we do is we simply say disabled equals just like that. And now the button appears grayed out and the user is unable to click it. So as you can see, jQuery Mobile gives a number of different options for working with buttons and creating buttons that really fit well into